In this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty, we're going to be talking about getting off duty during the summer. Are you one that clocks in? Do you clock out and hang out on a boat all summer? We're going to be talking about the things that we do in the life of a teacher. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Teachers Off Duty. It is summer break. And although we should be off duty, a lot of us work. We have summer jobs, and we're going to talk about kind of a day in the life of a teacher during the summer and kind of debunk some of those myths people know about. But Lauran, you surveyed the peoples, didn't you?
I did survey the peoples as
All of them. All
I
the
love
peoples.
to do.
All the peoples.
So I asked you guys on Instagram, what do you do in the summer? Any summer side hustles, even though we shouldn't have to have one?
Correct.
Absolutely.
And these were some of your answers. So a lot of people said that they were working summer school. Which, I mean,
I could never, dude.
I couldn't either. Like, if I was going to do a summer side hustle, I don't know that I would want it to be education related.
Right.
But, I mean, I used to tutor, so, like,
Yeah.
I also get it. And then a lot of people said they do maintenance work at their school.
Oh.
So they'll, like, go in. Like, I know a few teachers at my school that do that. Like, they help remove the furniture from the classroom so they can wax the floors and stuff.
Custodial work and stuff,
Yeah.
I don't want to see the school in the summer. I won't even drive by it.
I would
take
like
a
to
different
say
route.
that that's true for myself also, but I'm psychotic, so I go in and do stuff to my classroom.
No.
Dishonor.
Shame.
Dishonor.
Shame. Dishonor you, cow. Dishonor you, cow. Make a note of it.
Some people said that they rest and enjoy time with their kids.
Good.
Love that
Good.
for you.
Love that they enjoy time with their kids.
Yes.
My kid mostly
We
just
got some
screams my name.
online courses that some people teach, like side hustles with music, waitressing, a lot of waitressing,
Yeah.
Make a
or
lot of money doing
waitering.
that.
Tippy tip.
Camps, a lot of sleepaway camps.
I
Camp
loved
counseling.
being a
I feel like
camp
that would be
counselor.
kind of
Camp
fun.
director.
It is.
You think that would be fun being a camp counselor?
I was a
I had a
camp
blast.
counselor
I never
at
got
Kids
to
Across
go.
America.
That sounds
for,
like one of my worst nightmares.
no.
Gabe.
I'm
Really?
telling you, at
love
Kids
it.
Across America, you would be the absolute best camp counselor.
Yep.
All the
I
kids would love
probably,
you.
yeah.
I think here's the thing. You get to do the things you love about teaching because it's all like fun stuff outside.
Right.
So I was a
And
camp
no one
director
is
for years.
coming
and
to
did that.
observe you.
No one.
No
is.
drop-ins.
And nobody
Right.
is,
No.
The
checking
ticket-
to see if your standards are all being met.
The tickets to find a camp that it's like nationwide, but they have like campuses. So like the one I did, it's a nationwide thing. They flew
you.
They
flew
flew
you.
me.
Flew you out.
They flew me out to Minnesota. Is that where the
To the
camp?
Minnesota.
What's the place
Y'all's
with the
grammar
big
is
mall?
killing me.
Mall of America.
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
that?
Minnesota.
Minneapolis, yeah.
Shout out. I had so many family vacations there.
Really?
There's a roller coaster in there.
Are you serious?
With SpongeBob.
Yeah.
What is
There's
this?
like Snoopy Land, isn't
Yeah.
there?
What is this?
No. It's
That's,
Nickelodeon now.
Oh, it used to
The
be.
Mall of
It
America?
used to be
Mall of
Disneyland.
America. It's
I used to.
the
The
world's
only
biggest
reason
mall.
I know is
Never
because
seen
they
it,
used to
yeah.
have a computer game that was Mall of America Tycoon, and you would like,
Oh.
yeah, you would
always
build a
add
mall.
They
and you
always
had
add
Snoopy
roller
Land.
coasters in there, but you'd go there. They would do like this weekend of like training, and then you would go to the satellite, wherever your camp was. But it was so much fun to do. They paid pretty well. I was the camp director, so like I got to make the plans for the summer.
That's
And you
cool.
were outside the whole time. It was so much fun, and you would
I loved
swim. You would
camp.
do like tennis. We would do.
A couple of my
like,
friends did that. They would literally
my gosh.
travel to Tennessee, and they would
Yeah.
go to it was some kind of like wilderness camp.
Yeah.
I loved
That
it.
was really nice.
This is to all the people in teachers' comments on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter,
Say
on
it.
AOL, on
Do
MSN
it,
Messenger,
do it,
all of
do
them.
Do it.
MySpace.
MySpace. Guess what? Hey, we do not get paid in the
summer.
summer. We do not get paid for our summers off.
Golly.
Here's how this works. We have a 9-month contract.
Tell it.
That money is allocated for 9 months.
Tell it.
What happens is they say, hey, so you can still have money coming in. Do you want to spread that 9-month contract out now to 12 months?
Preach, preacher.
We say yes, because so then for the people who have a really hard time understanding this, because there's a lot of you out there who can't get
Come on,
it,
Pastor.
we have less money in our paycheck during those 12 months, so it spreads itself out.
Yes.
We are not getting paid to do nothing in the summer.
Hallelujah.
My God,
We get
stop
paid for
commenting that on our videos.
181 days of work. That's
Believe it
what
or
we get
not,
paid for.
we don't get paid to do
81.
nothing. Yeah, crazy.
And we don't. And when we do the nothing, we're actually, some of us are still going to school. Some of us are lesson planning for the rest of the year. Some of us are getting a side job, because I never, to this day, have not worked in the summer a different job ever in my life.
Yeah, I have.
No, I haven't.
I love doing outdoorsy stuff in the summer.
At one time, I was working like upwards of 3 or 4 jobs.
Yeah.
In the
Like,
summer?
Just
all year.
Oh
All
gosh.
year.
same.
But like some of the ones I liked on here, like, which again, let me repeat, we shouldn't have to
Not
do this.
have one. Yeah.
But these are some good ideas. One person said, if you have really good handwriting, shout out to most of my elementary school teachers,
Because they got some fire handwriting.
Calligraphy.
I mean, it's just a fact. They usually do. If you have good handwriting, people say do calligraphy because they pay good money for like wedding signage and invitation writing.
Go to coffee houses. They want you to do like their chocolate.
Yes.
They pay people to do
My
that.
students told me I have serial killer handwriting.
You do.
I
You
can
do.
confirm
A couple
it's
people
pretty
said
nasty.
like they have like their own little side businesses where they like one person sells crochet plushies, one person makes teaching like lanyards, and they sell them on Etsy. A lot of
Yeah.
Etsy part-time jobs
If you
that
have a-
people take, babysitting.
If you're a teacher with a Cricut,
Teachers pay teachers. People
Yeah.
make curriculum over the summer and put it up on there.
Make T-shirts. Make
A lot of
There's
them teach
so
college
many
courses.
different things.
I know a lot
Someone
of them
said
do
they
that.
work a golf course, like they
Yeah.
like run a golf course.
that's how I feel like I'm dressed like I would go to.
You
like
do.
A,
You do.
You look
You
like
look really
you
good.
should be going
in
to a
the
country
80s,
club.
though, just like
This shirt is giving what it's supposed to give.
Winston.
A lot of them, but I mean, I get it though. I'm with you. We shouldn't have to do it, but if you have to do it and you gotta, help your family out or make ends meet somehow, those are some really good ideas.
Yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't have to. But
I
then
hate
also,
saying
like,
that because
yeah.
I'm
Right.
not perpetrating the idea that that's okay at
No.
all.
Yeah,
But there's
But
like a-
like also we need to live.
it's the
Yeah,
reality.
and
Yeah,
but there's like a shame around it too. And I think that's like we shouldn't have to do, it, but we also shouldn't feel like shame over having to do
You
it
have
because
to,
like
yeah.
if you have to do it, you have to do it. Because I
Right.
remember like I was teaching. And then I was working part-time at a theater doing their hair and makeup design. I did that year-round. So I was doing teaching and that year-round.
Golly.
Not the teaching, thank God. Then I was working at a coffee shop training. I was training the new employees at a coffee shop, and then I was working at that camp. So I had 4 jobs at one time. And in May, like all of them would overlap. So I'd have 4 jobs. I mean, I had to do it.
I
Yeah.
get that because up until last year, like last year was the year I finally quit speech.
Yeah.
But like I was teaching full time. I was still waitressing on the weekends at Buffalo
Oh,
Wild
wow.
Wings.
Beat up.
Which is a bar, so
Yeah.
it's open late. So I'm not getting
Yeah.
home till 3 in the morning.
Dang.
I was still tutoring 2 or 3 kids at a time on the weekends and sometimes during the week. It was stressful.
That
And
is
then
very
I would work
stressful.
seasonal work at the mall, like when I had breaks from school
Yeah.
and stuff. It's stressful.
It is stressful.
My first year teaching, I would drive an hour back to my hometown and do landscaping because my dad had a landscaping company. So I loved it. I loved being outside, building retaining walls, shoveling rock. Like I
My
really
husband did
enjoyed
that
it.
for like when he was in
Yeah.
college. He
I
was
liked
or
it.
high school. I think he worked with a landscape.
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool. Like I'm the type where in the summers I don't want to be working with kids. I
Yeah.
love kids.
You need a
Don't
break.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love being in the classroom,
but needed.
but I need a break. I
Yeah.
need a break.
I get that.
People that like doing summer school, awesome, good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
I
But
can't do it.
If you
It's just not me.
If you talk to so many teachers that do summer school, like when I did the camp, one, I was the director, so I didn't have to always work directly with the kids. We had counselors for that, but they were older than my kid. I mean, we didn't have a 3-year-old at camp. They were all
Right,
like,
right.
I was like 8 to I think 14 or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So it's nice to have but so many teachers that do like summer school, they don't teach the grade that they teach. I remember I went to summer school every year, and the teachers I would have were like 2nd grade teachers teaching 8th grade math or something like that because I
Oh.
think they were just like, I need a break.
We just need.
No,
Yeah.
see at my school, because my school is very small, it is that way.
It is
like
the same.
and our summer school for the elementary wing is not really like it's not like a summer school like you would think in your head. Like you come to school and just learn in the summer. You're learning, but they're doing like fun school activities that you wouldn't really
Yeah.
get the time to do in the school year. And like they combine grade levels because there aren't as many kids.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
there's like a 4th and 5th grade classroom,
Which makes
there's like the
sense, like-
2nd, 3rd grade class, and so
Yeah.
on. But I'm with you. Like I know people are gonna like come for us in the comments for saying that, but like you do need a break from children sometimes.
I do. I
Yeah.
need a
Like
break from
sometimes
my
I
own
just want to be
child.
around adults
Yeah.
for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I don't love the kids.
Right. Yeah. You create
I love
like an
you. I
adult
just
conversation.
I need you away from me so I can miss you.
Yeah.
And then come back in August and be
Right.
rejuvenated.
Right.
It's not
Absence makes-
natural for humans to be around kids 12 months of the year, 120 kids that you teach. Like, it's just.
Not only that, but like locked in a room, like not locked, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just leave. Like some of us are.
You can't go
Like,
take a pee.
Right, you can't pee. So it's one adult in the room with the kids,
Yeah.
and then you're like, I just crave going up to another adult and having a conversation that's not about like farce or Nickelodeon. Like, please, if
That's
I have
why
to
in
talk
the-
about Blippi one more
Yeah.
time.
Oh my God, that's why in the summer when me and Peyton go to Target, I be talking the head off of the cashier. Because I mean, it's
Yeah.
just me and Peyton at home in the
Yeah.
summer.
I was just gonna say, like, I love that I can go home and take a break, but you can't. Like, if you got kids,
Nope.
you're on.
My daughter's poking me in the back at
It's
7
mommy
a.m.
time.
Surprise, shawty. I'm like, hey, man.
Say, can I go to the pool?
I just want, Mommy, wake up. Like, sometimes I wake up and she's just staring at me. Mommy,
creepy.
it's time to wake up. No, because she's like, Mommy, it's time to wake up. Like,
It's
why are you
5
not? I'm
a.m.
like, I'm so tired, though.
I used to be like that as a kid. I remember being the kid who would get up at like 5 or 6 and go wake up my parents. And now as an adult, I'm like, my kid better not.
And they're going to understand
I know.
this. They're
I
going
know.
to. And in the summer, Peyton follows me around everywhere. And like, I love the time that we get together. Obviously, this summer, like I'm doing the Board Teachers Comedy Tour.
Hey,
and shout
shout
out
out.
to the Teachers Do Stand Up Tour. But I'm doing the tour this summer, so she'll be with Joel and her grandma more this summer. But I do enjoy the downtime that I get to spend with my daughter in the summer, because during the school year, everything is like so fast paced. I'm so exhausted when I get out of school. But my favorite is like our lazy mornings, because I only got one kid.
Yeah.
So our lazy mornings, watching cartoons. Sometimes I'll fall back asleep on the couch and have to wake up and be like, hey, are you still in the house? And she is. And so praise the Lord. But I do like our lazy time together. But after like as a mom, after like a couple of weeks into the summer, I'm like YouTubing like activities for her, because I don't
run
know
out of
why,
stuff
but
to do.
yeah, I don't know why, but like my twin finally had to tell me one day. She was like, it's okay for her to be bored.
Yeah.
She was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I'm like, I feel bad because like we've been in the house all day, and I was like, I'm tired because we went to the pool yesterday, and I just cannot go to the pool or to the playground again today.
Yeah.
And my twin is like, Bree, it's okay
It is.
for her to be
she doesn't
bored.
need to be entertained
Right.
24/7. She'll
Right.
find her own ways to
I
entertain
don't know
herself.
why I always have such mom guilt
No,
about
because
that.
you need
Like,
a break too. And
you
I
do.
think when I was a kid, times that my parents assumed I was bored, I was fine watching TV, or I was fine watching a cartoon, or playing a video, or going outside, or playing with toys, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like you might be projecting like, I want
Yeah.
you to be able to go out and have fun, and you could do this during school year. We should be doing that, and sometimes it's okay that like you need a break
Yeah.
too. You are working with kids. I can't imagine even during the school year, but especially in the summer, like being with kids all day,
Yeah.
and then having to like come home and be with kids. You know what I mean?
It's hard. And sometimes at school, like if I notice during the week, like, okay, when you've gotten home, you haven't paid a lot of attention to Peyton.
Yeah.
So then sometimes at school, I may be like a little bit more reserved, and I may not go as hard because I'm like, I really need to spend some quality time with my daughter this evening, where I can like pay attention to her and not be like doing
Give her
something.
your energy.
Yeah.
Right, and not be doing something
Right.
at the same time. And like the older that she gets, the more that she notices, like, Mommy, will you play with me? And I'm like, yes, like, Mommy, give me just a second. Mommy will play with you in a minute. And like, my twin, one of the things that my twin might as well be like my personal life coach, like, because she really helps me get my life together. But my twin, she was like, okay, when you feel bad that you can't play with her, she's like, because you can't play with her all day. She
Right,
was
you
like,
can't.
sometimes
Yeah.
like it's okay for her to go play by herself and be, but you know, when you're an only child, your mom it was just me and you at home.
Yeah.
Of course, like, Mom, can you play with me? And so sometimes I'm like working on stuff for social media, or I'm cleaning up, or I'm trying to fix her something to eat, or and so my twin was like, some stuff like start including her, like, so y'all make food together, or let her help you do the laundry or whatever. And then she was like, you also could set a timer. And she was like, tell Peyton, like, okay, Mommy's gonna play with you for this amount of time. And like, I know somebody's gonna try to crucify me in the comments for saying that, but it's as a mom, like, I don't believe in shaming other moms, so I'm never gonna shame another mom for what they do. But for me, like, I have to, my twin was like, set a timer and you play play with her, like intentional. You're not looking at your phone. You're not doing more than one thing.
100%.
You're sitting with her for 10 or 15 minutes or however long.
Yeah.
And then when you're done with that, okay, mommy's got to go do this. You got to play by yourself for a little bit. Because even in the middle of that, Peyton will still come and say, after I get done playing with her, she'll still come and say, Mommy, will you play with me? And then I don't feel as bad. I still feel bad.
No.
That I have to say, not right now, but I don't feel as bad because I know I just paid attention to you uninterrupted time.
The timer thing, I'm going to take off my teacher hat, put on my therapist hat for a minute. Because the timer thing, that's what I used to give parenting classes when I worked for Head Start.
Yeah.
And so that was one thing we told them to do over the summer, especially. But like when there's something called in-kind forms, and it's when a parent does any activity with their child at home, we actually get money from the government for doing that for Head Start. It's called in-kind.
Wow.
So one of the things we suggest is like allow your child to participate in things that you have to do, right? Because especially for single parents, like my mom for the longest time, like it just, so we were included in, she can match socks, and that's matching and patterns and stuff like that, and she can, and that's time you can spend together. And we use both in teaching and in like early childhood with teaching and with parents, we tell them do the timer thing, because the kid whether they can count down from that,
but they see
that there's some movement there, and that when it goes off, and to stick with that. But like, it is not fair, especially for parents, like anyone, like for any teacher, but especially for teachers who are parents, to give all of their energy during the day and then have nothing for your babies when you get home.
I feel bad sometimes.
And that's a reason why I was like, I told my husband, I think I need to go back to grad school, because I want to help these teachers. Most of my clients right now are all teachers or in education, and that's one of their things, is that guilt. It's like, you deserve to go to school and teach well and do that, but give them half the energy, because you need that at home, because that's going to fill your bucket too. I don't believe this whole like you have to be 100%.
Yeah.
And
one time I like had to catch myself, because I mean, Peyton's 4.
Yeah.
They're loud, like, and it's okay. It's okay. And like my kids at school, like for this particular day, I had a group of girls, and they were just cackling, laughing all day long, screaming. Like we had to get onto them so many times, and like the whole drive home, I was so quiet, because I was like, I could hear their screams in the silence. I was like, oh my gosh,
I've never related more.
I'm telling you,
I can hear their screams in the silence.
It's like an out of body experience. I'm like, how can y'all possibly be screaming at the top of y'all's lungs and unaware of how painful it is to the people around you? So when I got home, like Peyton was playing, and like my boyfriend has a son, so they were over playing, and they're just being kids. Like he's 5, she's 4. They've played together since they were like 2, and so they're like running around the house and like screaming, and it's the cutest thing ever. Like they're just chasing each other around. And before, like, I guess like I had like maybe drowned it out a little bit, and then all of a sudden it came to me that there was so much screaming, and I was like, hey, stop screaming. Why are y'all screaming at the time? And I had to catch myself, because I'm like, they're 5 and 4.
Right.
It doesn't mean that I'm gonna let you scream for 20 minutes, but I'm like, breathe. They've been playing for 30. Like they can like let them scream. And I had to check myself, because I'm like, that has stressed you out at school that they were screaming. Yeah. As a mom, I like. It is an adjustment.
I'm not laughing at what you just said. I'm laughing because in my head it went to my dogs. Because I don't have kids.
So same.
Right.
So like we just got a puppy like a month or 2 ago, and my puppy, who's only like 5 months old, is like 40 pounds. He's a big dog. And my other dog, who's 5 years old, is an energetic Aussie Shepherd who's also 50 pounds. Teddy. And they like to like run around and wrestle and bark, and like I have to remind myself that I'm like, they're dogs. They want to run around and play.
Right.
So I don't need to like go like, hey, stop. Like, and that just reminded me of me at home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want my daughter to have to suffer the consequences of me being irritated from school.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why summer, like, because you have that agitation when you get home. My before Jason was a professor, he was a high school teacher, and both of us coming from him from high school all day teaching, 7.5 whatever hours, me coming home, it was like so much
doubled.
it was like we would just look at each other and like we'd be so angry at the littlest things. Like it's just
like tapping your pencil on the kitchen table.
Right. I'll flip the whole thing. Like and like I always just think, we don't have kids. You know what I mean? So it's just like, for me to need summer, oh my gosh, for me to need summer so badly, and then to also be like, but you're still working.
It makes me feel guilty, because I'm like, I don't have kids, and I feel this way. And I'm like, I feel so bad for like the people who go home and like have that agitation, but then also still have to be a parent. And like, I don't know. Like, I feel bad.
There's a lot of like parents that will sometimes like shame people that don't have kids, like, oh, you think you're tired, wait till you have kids. And it's like, bro, calm down. Like,
say that to people.
Like, don't say that. Let people have their experiences. You're not the gatekeeper of being tired just because you have kids. Calm down, Susan. Calm down. Like, please calm down.
There was one time a Facebook post about this mom who was getting coffee or something like that. And she's like, I was in line and my child is with me and the person in front of me didn't let me go ahead of them. And I'm like, it was your choice to have a child. I want my coffee before you.
Right. Why should I let you go before me?
I know you're tired, but I was up late watching like the entire season of Sex and the City. And it was when Carrie Bradshaw went to Paris. I'm really upset right now.
I'm like, don't, like, don't be entitled.
Yeah.
But I do. I like feel nostalgic because last summer I was on the comedy tour.
Yeah.
And this summer I'll be on the comedy tour. So I know like when I'm at home this summer,
You're gonna
like
really
I want to be like really intentional because Peyton wants to do gymnastics. And
I did gymnastics. She's gonna love it.
She is obsessed, y'all. She is obsessed. I have never seen the child so obsessed about anything.
Doing like flips off the couch at home?
Yes, and I'm like, you're going to break your neck. Stop.
She's like,
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now. Go on Amazon and get some folding mats.
Okay,
so you can lay them on your floor.
It literally makes me so happy as a mom. So it was during March Madness. I was watching March Madness, and it was on ESPN, and then a commercial came on. I didn't even know Peyton was looking at the TV. A commercial came on, and it was gymnastics. It was like a replay of something from like the Olympics or whatever. Yeah. And Peyton turned around. She goes, "Whoa, mommy, how they do that? Like what?" And so she starts trying to stand on her head. I'm like, "Hey, you gonna break your neck? Stop!" And so y'all, it wasn't even like a 30-second commercial. It was like maybe 10 or 15 seconds. I have never seen my daughter so because she got ADHD like me. She can't stay on one thing for y'all every morning. Mommy, can we watch gymnastics? Aww. Mommy, it is the sweetest. And so this summer, like, I want to put her in gymnastics, but I'm like,
love that.
I'm gonna be on tour. But I have already I'm like, okay, she's not gonna play basketball, but I'm like, don't make her play something she don't want to play. Yeah. If she wants to do gymnastics, you as a mom, we're going. Yeah. We're going
to the Olympics.
We're going.
Like, I mean,
right. Like we're going big or go home.
I wanted so bad to do gymnastics as a kid, but my parents were like, no. So I had to watch my sister do it. And so then what I wanted to do, I think it was even before we started this podcast. I wanted to do this thing in the summer. I did. I did a challenge where I wanted to do something I always wanted to do but couldn't during the summers because it was like the one time you have a little bit more time. Yeah. So I did things like I dyed my hair purple and like I tried to do.
I do that too. You fit in all the stuff.
You can't go to school with purple.
We can't do it during the school year. And so I remember like wanting so bad. If you're watching this and you live in the Philadelphia area, tell me where to do gymnastics. But gymnastics was on that list. I wanted so bad. And then I also like wanted to learn like bartend and like I just thought this stuff would be like fun. But I was also like, working at the same time. So I'm like, I'm so tired from work, but I wanted to do these
I would
things.
love to see you like take like the entry level gymnastics course. Like
it'd be
a grown man with a bunch of 4-year.
Can you teach? I used to
what do you want to learn how to do?
Wait, so you did do gymnastics? What? You did do gymnastics?
I did gymnastics for 13 years.
Oh my gosh.
That's a long
if
time.
Me and Peyton FaceTime you better answer the phone. Okay. I'm like, we're calling TT Lauran. TT, I know it's a cultural thing. TT does not mean P in the black community. It means your auntie. So TT Lauran, we're going to call you and we'll be like, let's talk to TT Lauran because she did gymnastics for 13 years and Peyton going to get all up in the phone and you tell her all the things.
I will tell her all the things.
You should have done.
I'm going to send her all the leotards.
Please.
Gymnastics classes. Go get your bat training again. You can be a what's it called? A babysitter, and you can teach gymnastics.
It was funny though, because at one point I had to quit because I was like most gymnasts are like very short.
Short, yeah.
I had to quit because I was too tall, and
really,
it's really hard to do. It's really hard to do like uneven bars when you're too tall.
I had no idea.
So like the lower bar, I would go to do I don't know. It's been a long time. I think it was called a glide kip, but like it's a way to get onto the bar. You like swing your legs forward and then you have to like, it's called a kip. You like touch the bar and then you swing back up and you like lift yourself up. And I would swing my legs forward and they just go against the mat because they're too long. So I would just scrape the floor and I was like, well, so I couldn't do them. But
How is there a height requirement for a sport?
If you go, because you have to be
You
like
have to be
fair.
able to.
okay.
It's like basketball.
Well, I guess I was just about to say
Right.
that. I'm like,
How's there a height
Yeah.
requirement for basketball?
Imagine
NBA, like you ain't gonna be able to be
Every-
5'5" and a point
every
guard
4
for the
years.
Spurs. Like it ain't gonna happen.
Every
Yeah.
4 years when the Summer Olympics comes out, I go wild. I literally go wild.
It makes
I
me
love
go
it.
like, I want to go back to gymnastics.
Oh
I'm
my
like, girl,
gosh.
your time has come and gone.
The worst thing ever is when we were doing school round teaching and the Olympics fell and it was my first time doing school round.
no.
And I was like, what do
Ew.
I do? So that theme, thank God that year, our summer camp theme for school was the Olympics. So we each had like a different sport. When I tell you that I was like, okay, for today's activity, we're going to... And then 30 minutes of just watching whatever we missed the night before. Because I was like, this is important, guys. Like, we have to watch
They
them do
can
this.
learn physics.
They can...
Right.
I don't teach that in preschool, but they can learn...
It's
the color of
introductory to
outfits.
physics,
Concept.
color
Right.
concepts.
Whenever track is on, like I'll be watching it and get like fired up. I'm like, you know what? Maybe like I should go back to college. I got one year left of eligibility. I'm like, wait, no, I'm 25 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
You
I'm
know
not,
what?
I am not
Oh
going to go
my
back
God.
for 1 year of eligibility.
Would you ever coach gymnastics?
I don't think I'm skilled enough, like as a coach, to
But,
be able
like,
to
the
coach
littles.
other.
Like the littles.
Like,
Pre-K.
yeah, I could do preschool gymnastics, but like I'm saying, like a higher level, I don't think
Because
I
I just
could
want
coach
you to
that.
come on to Mississippi. Like you can be paid coach.
Okay.
Come on, this one
But
is.
like the funniest thing though is when I like think I'm still in shape like I was back when I was in high school. And then I like try to do something and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like the one day, like my mom will randomly, not anymore because she knows I'm out of shape, but like when we would go to the park, we would go like walk around the big field and she'd be like, do a round off back handspring. And I'd be like, okay. So I'd go and like run and do one. And as the years go on, she would be like, do a round off tuck. And I'm like, okay. And I like went to do the round off back handspring the one time and I felt it. I was like, I like went to
The
like,
grunt.
like before, like when I was a senior in high school, I'd be throwing back handsprings on the
Right,
track.
right.
Like it was no big deal during football games. And then I literally went to do one the one summer and it felt like I added a whole ton of bricks to my weight of my body.
Man.
When I went back on my wrist, I was like, I'm about to break both my wrists.
I got brittle bones now.
I know. I was like, oh, I'm not.
the fact
16.
that like now, like especially in your 30s, you make so much noise when you
Oh my
have to like
gosh.
get
Oh
up
my
or pick
gosh.
some.
Okay. I got out of bed too quickly the other day. My
Oh,
husband
no.
goes, "Hey, Tal, you have 7 minutes to get to therapy." And I got out I threw out my bag.
Oh, no.
Which is and like so then I used to do this thing where I was like, in summer, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna get in shape this summer. Like I don't know. I talked to so many other teachers who are like, I'm going to spend the summer on getting healthy with this and getting healthy with that and trying doing this.
Always.
And every time I talk to another teacher, I'm like, so were you able to go to the gym? Did you do? I sat on the couch.
Nope.
I did that also. I did
See,
that all
I
summer.
did that. Okay, like summer is the only time I feel like I can because I'm not as busy.
Yeah.
Well, used to be, and I would get up at like 5. I'd
AM?
go. Yes, I did this.
Up
It was-
before Jesus.
It was my goal
Swear.
last summer. I went to the gym at least 3 days a week and did like a class. And the class started at 6. So I'd get up at like 5:45 and drive to the gym, take a class. And then I'd come home and I felt like my whole day was ahead of me. Like I had so
Yeah,
much
I do
time.
like that.
I
And
do
I
like
would
that.
get into like a routine and then school would start back up and I'm like, and that's gone.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
the thing
can't do
though.
that.
You can sit there and tell yourself, if I do this all summer, if I get up at 5:45 all summer, and I go to the gym and I make this routine, I realize I can get to school on time. I do it for a week, and then I tell myself,
I'm tired.
like well, you taught really late last night. You made it happen in the summer, but just this one day, and
Yeah,
then
you don't
never
have to
go
do it.
back.
And
Just
that's when
and-
it
Never to be
happens.
seen again.
And
And
it's
we're
just
put
a
on-
big
yeah.
slippery slope.
my teacher fall coat of weight, just like it keeps me
Full
warm.
hibernation.
I do a cross country camp in the summer. And
Really?
I've done it for 2 years now. I do it at the school that I work at, and the first year, so the school, I was there when we opened up the school. So our AD, he was like, hey, do you want to do a cross country camp? I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'd
Heck
love
yeah.
to do it. And so it's always in August. And the first year that we did it, he was like, how long do you want your camp to be? I'm like, I don't know, just whatever you think works. Like, let's do it. So it was scheduled for 3 hours long in the first week of August in South Dakota.
What the heck?
And it is so unbelievably hot and muggy during that time in
Oh,
South
you would
Dakota.
never survive in Mississippi.
Oh, dude,
All the time.
I'm telling you, it gets hot up in South Dakota. So
That sounds miserable.
that first, and it was a 2-day camp, and I was about an hour into the camp, and I was like, this is not going to go well. I had kids that were puking. I had kids that were getting sick. I'm like,
No.
all right, we're going to go inside for 20 minutes and go sit in the air conditioning.
I wouldn't get back up.
Yeah. So then year 2, I was like, you know what? Camp needs to be an hour long.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we cannot do 3 hours of running because there's nothing that we can do.
Which is so like
That
because
sounds miserable. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
I know that for some people, running is fun. I am not people. So, like, the fact that people would choose to sign up to run in the heat and throw up for 3 hours baffles me.
The Bible say it's a sin to run when no man is chasing you.
yeah, and I felt that. So this is confusing. I ran cross country in high school, and you couldn't. Cross country was the only sport, I think, and someone's gonna roast me from my high school. Someone from my high school definitely watches this. They don't. That was the only sport you couldn't do a 2-day in because it was you were doing essentially the training that other sports are doing for their 2 days, and it was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
It was never 3. I think maybe 2 hours at the most, but it was outside in the heat during the summer. You couldn't.
I wish I was born with that gene.
Yeah, it was a bad deal.
What?
I don't, the running gene. I don't get that.
I wasn't good at it. I just liked being.
No,
I liked running.
I didn't like it. I'm not good at it. I don't get it. Like, I just don't.
No, there's
I liked it because I was like, when I first started
'Cause you're
running,
tall?
I wasn't good at it.
Long
And then
leg.
like I fell in love just enjoying it. And then I got good. And then like I ran in college. And then it became such a job that I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this
It's not fun
competitively anymore. Like,
You know
I don't
what?
want to.
You know what? I'd be running in the summer. Food orders from the kitchen because I worked at B-Dubs all summer.
What was the worst summer
to
job
ask.
that you guys have ever had?
Yeah.
B-Dubs in the summer.
B-dubs?
Oh my gosh.
Bree, what's yours?
I cleaned houses with a lady for a summer job, and I'm like, hey, yo, how do you do this for a living? Child, after the first house, I was tired of hell. She was like, we're going to a second house. I said, I'm finna quit.
It's like doing chores all day.
You do 2 houses, and then one of those little small, had one of those teeny tiny houses. This one was doing big, humongous house. Girl, I ain't gonna make it. They had me in the first half, and the second half, I'm at the house because I could not do it.
I'm not even gonna get to the story because it wasn't good. It was bad news bears. But I
Bad news bears.
I was gonna work at a daycare in Indiana for the summer, and I went to the initial day where you just like sign all the paperwork. So you have to like do a couple of things online. So it's like an 8-hour training that you do. I did not make it past that. Did not make it. I was taking the test and I look over and there's a 2-year-old standing right beside me. I'm like, hi. And no one's around. I'm like, cool. So I pick up the 2-year-old. I walk to the director's office. I'm like, so this child is in the staff lounge. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Just walked out of the class. Just walked out of the thing. I was like, that was like the first red flag. And then they did
Red
something.
flag.
They did another thing that was completely unethical, where they like put fear into a child to get them to listen. And I don't do that. And you just can't do that. And I was like, yeah, I'm not working here. So I walked up to them like, thank you so much. This is not for me. And then like a week later, I got like a check for $90 for being there for 8 hours doing training. I'm like, well, I got my trainings done for the year.
One year, I was applying for jobs to work in the summer, and I'd interviewed to be a phlebotomist. So somebody who...
Wait, someone- hold
yep.
on.
Wait,
Hold
what's
on.
a phlebotomist?
It's
They
the person
draw
who draws blood. Someone who passed
Are
out
you
in
kidding me?
class, and you're gonna be a phlebotomist.
You're joking.
So
Sir, excuse you.
here's how that worked out. So I had just started dating my now fiance, Annie. And we had lived in different towns. And I was like, oh, I'll apply to like for this phlebotomist job in Sioux Falls, so then I don't have to travel and whatever. So I was like, oh, I can definitely put my fear of blood aside and just be drawing blood for a job.
that's
So
right.
I interviewed for it. And then they were talking about like, oh yeah, what's your experience and this and that.
Is it on the job training?
What do you
Yeah,
like?
yeah. You don't have to go to school. You train.
Oh
for it.
yeah, on the job. And then they're like, okay, how do you do with blood? I'm like, I'll be honest with you, not well.
At least you
well.
were honest.
And
And
they're
they were like, sir, there's the door.
yeah, they're like, dude, this is a job where you only draw blood. I'm like, I think I can get used to it. I think I can do
They
it.
was like, no.
And they said, I think you should apply for a different job.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Have you ever seen
okay.
do you watch Bob's Burgers? Okay, you need to watch Bob's Burgers. There's an episode where Bob literally like cuts his finger and he bleeds a little bit. And he's like, and he like passes out. And it like reminds me of
Yeah.
you.
When I told like my family and friends that I applied for that job, they all had that same reaction.
Like,
They're
why
like,
would
you
do
moron. You can't. You're a freaking idiot. And
I
I look
really
back
thought I
at
could
it.
overcome my fear with this like excessive exposure
Yeah.
therapy right now.
Yeah.
Like, I have a fear of falling off of tall things. Let me go and teach people how to climb mountains.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be okay, hold on though. So I had what might have been one of the like worst summers last year. I had 4 kidney stones.
Oh,
And,
wow.
So that like I'm not joking when I say we found this out in July. And I passed the last kidney stone the day before.
Wait, did
school
you name all
started.
4 of them?
Yes, they were the Rolling Stones.
You next.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying Sharon. You named one of them Sharon
had
Stone.
we had Stone Phillips, we had Sharon Stone, we had Emma Stone, and I can't remember the last Stone's name.
That's so
Classic.
funny.
That's iconic.
But
Stonehenge.
they made Stonehenge.
It's stuck.
But I woke up one
The
day
Infinity
and
Stone.
I was like, I don't feel great. And it was like, again, it was beginning of July, so I'd only been off work for a month. I've only been off for a month. And I'm like, and it felt like I had done like 1,000 sit-ups. And I had training the day before and I was like, I think maybe that's it. I wake up on Sunday, I can't move.
Oh.
And I text my husband, I'm like, okay, worst pain of my life. So I text him, I said, hey, I need you to come to the bedroom. It's like it's like 8 a.m. He wakes up at like 5 a.m. during the summer, I don't know why.
Nerd.
He comes and
Whoa.
he's like, what is wrong? I was like, I can't move. I'm in extreme pain. I need you to take me to the hospital. And so he helps me sit up. I get dressed. We go to the hospital. By the time we get there, I'm
Sweating.
unconscious how like bad it
Painful it
hurts.
was.
I'm like
Ouch.
passing out.
Oh man.
We get there, and the nurse is like, think it's a kidney stone. And then I was like, okay. So they have a phlebotomist come in to draw blood. Jason can't do needles, can't do blood, can't do anything medical. So when he tells people, I have my PG, it's Dr. Van Fossen. I'm like, but not the medical one.
Please specify.
He's sitting in the corner, and I'm talking to Jason. I'm like, hey, don't worry about this. It's fine. And Jason goes cold. He looks like he's trying to like evaporate into the wall.
Sink into the chair.
And the entire time, I have the most cheery nurse, and he's like, oops. Wow, I need a mesh. I need a big old mesh. Like all of a sudden, Blippi's in the room to do this. And I'm just like,
Blippy!
And I'm looking at Jason. I look over, and it's not a mess, baby. It's like an episode of ER. It's like an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
God.
And I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Sorry. It's just everywhere. I'm like, so now I'm like, kidney stones and this.
And blood.
And they send me off to do the MRI thing. And the woman operating the machine was like, it's probably kidney stones. I'm like, yeah. She goes, don't feel bad if it hurts. I gave birth naturally, and I'd rather do that than pass the kidney stones.
I
was like,
I have heard that kidney stones hurt
so bad.
So many people have
So
said
bad.
that it hurts worse than giving birth.
How do you get one?
So this is how I think I got it. It was the end of the school year too. I was so upset. I had got COVID, and I hadn't had COVID yet at this point. This was last May, and I was so worried about getting dehydrated. So I made my husband go out, and I'll say sports drink, get like 60 bottles of sports drink, like I say the actual brand. And I didn't know that having that much, it's a lot of sodium.
It's
Yeah.
so much
I drink
sodium.
all 60 of those in a week.
Wow, dude.
Are you insane?
I had no idea.
Were they the regular size ones? Are
And I told my nutritionist this, and he was like, "Why would you do that?" And then, come July, I had.
Oh my
And it started with
gosh,
one,
Tell.
and they were like, we'll see if you can pass it. 8 weeks later,
you had 4 over the summer?
weeks later,
I had
we
one
had
at
the Rolling
first.
Stones.
I had all 4, and he was like, "Well, guess we're gonna do surgery," and it scheduled me the day before school started.
Oh my gosh,
No, I'm sorry. I'm lying to you. It
Tell.
wasn't the day before. He started me the Tuesday school started. So the Monday before we started, I was like, I thought I had passed all my kidney stones, and I was like, great. I feel great. I feel awesome, actually. My husband and I go on our last date before the end of summer, and like I was like, I won't have to do the surgery anymore. I'm so excited. We get home from having ice cream. I'm running. I told you guys the cow story, the cow farm, the ice cream farm. I'm running upstairs. I passed the last kidney stone the day before school started.
Oh, wow.
Oh man.
It was a summer to remember. So what do you do during summer? I pass
Cast kidney stones. Nice.
Okay,
Multiple.
That sounds eventful. My summers are, my last summer was not nearly as eventful
Hell.
as that. I am one of those crazy people that, like, in the summer, I'm like, I think of all the things that I want to change about my classroom or about school.
I'm finna move.
I'm sorry.
Come sit
Okay,
next to
I'm
me.
sorry.
Come sit next to me
and
over
I'm
here.
like, I'm going to use this as my opportunity to get ahead. And I'm going to, like, prepare. And then I'll go in and I'll make projects for myself because
You go into the school?
stupid. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reorganize my entire 500 book class library. That sounds fun.
Wow.
I'm going to do that. And then that takes me a week. And then I'm like, oh, you know what I could do next? I can get rid of all the old files that I don't use anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm like, oh, I can move all of my furniture
Best
around.
friend.
No. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Are you okay?
No. I don't understand. I am not a person that can just sit around and do
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
I am
But
a
does it-
busybody.
Personality.
But does it
though.
make you feel
Yes.
ahead? Do you feel ahead during the school year then? Like, is it?
And does it take some anxiety and stress off of you?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But it's fun for the time being. So I just do that. And it doesn't bother. Like, my school lets me go in. Like, they don't.
Oh, yeah.
I have schools that don't. Like, my
Yeah.
last school were like, okay, give me your keys. Goodbye. Don't come back
Right.
till August. And then, like, my school was like, if you guys want to come in, I don't care. Like,
Here's
you
the
can be
thing,
here.
too, though. Okay, so I know we were all just looking at you crazy when you said that you go to the school over the summer. But my first year teaching, I had a lady that used to make me feel so bad for going to the school on the weekend. But like, I was a first year teacher. That helped me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so let's make it a thing.
Yeah.
To not,
Normalize.
let's normalize. No, well, I don't want to normalize it, but I want to not shame.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
want
think-
to not shame teachers if it's
Yes.
their preference to go up to the school. It ain't none of your business.
Because you got to normalize teachers learning in a way that's conducive to them. Because you just
Right,
being
yeah.
told not to go,
Right.
you're gonna
No,
have
you
the
gotta tell them
itchy
what to
feeling
do.
that you're
Yeah.
gonna that you should go. And so
You guys can shame me. Maybe if you shame me enough, I won't do it this year.
no,
because-
I'm not gonna shame you.
I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
would-
But like,
I would
it's just
shame
a
you-
thing. Like, I don't know why I do it. I'm like, because my classroom is like an extension of my home. To
Right.
Me.
It should
Yeah,
be.
So
absolutely.
I'm like, ooh, maybe on this wall I can put
Yeah,
and then
I
if I
can
do a
see-
little feng
okay.
shui over
I
here,
think-
You
I
have a
can-
nice classroom
You
too. It looks
really
good.
do.
I want to be a kid in your class.
thank you.
whenever you've done like things, I'm like, that's nice. That's not my
Them parties
yeah.
be partying. They be
Right.
giving what they supposed to
You
give.
do.
Yeah.
And I think here's the thing, like I like that you said it's an extension of you. So if you're going in to do self-care items that make you feel better, like you're redoing your desk area or you're redoing this area because it makes you feel like it is a more home like place to you. I
Right.
think
yeah,
that's
no
important.
one's forcing me. I want to. It's not
Yeah.
that like my
Link.
school
And
is
that's
like,
okay. And that's
Lauren, you need to organize your library.
Blink twice.
Did the school tell you to say
No
that?
one's forcing. No, but like, I mean, I'm one of them, and I know there are other teachers out there that
Oh,
are the
yeah.
same way.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do stuff over the summer for school, like that's up to you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I make projects for myself, and then I'm like, I'm gonna laminate everything,
Right.
and then
Laminate.
that's
all
what
the-
I that's what I do. I sit and watch TV, and I cut out my lamination.
I used to like laminate stuff. I'm not
And
gonna lie to you.
it's just
I-
Yeah,
something
I
to
like
get
it.
I
to
go a
keep
little
me
crazy.
busy.
Yeah,
You
just
know?
the laminate.
If it makes
But
you
this
work
summer-
less during the school year,
That's right.
I say yes. If it doesn't,
Yes.
and you're realizing that you're going in and you're burning yourself out there, but it's not getting you ahead in the school year, that's when, as a therapist, I would sit down and say, okay, if it's not serving you, don't do it.
I made it a goal. I'm not gonna go into the school like midsummer. I'm like, if I want to go in like the week after or the week before we go back, I'm gonna do that. But other than that, there's nothing else in my classroom I need to do currently. We're doing a lot of traveling this summer, honestly. Like before, I never used to get to travel a lot.
Yeah.
And this
I know you
summer,
too.
like, because last year was like, quite frankly, a shit show. In my household, it was just like,
Oh, I thought you were talking about school.
no.
also, yes.
I'm talking about Casa de Woolley was not a fun time.
Casa de Wood.
It was not a fun time last year. It was just
Yeah.
like one thing after another,
Yeah.
and it was like Jordan was sick, and then I was depressed, and then Jordan was sick again, and then family issue. It was just one thing after
Yeah.
another. So after the last thing happened in like December of last year, we were like, we're going to Europe. Like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, I
gonna
love
take that
that.
trip.
I
Like
love that.
We're
so,
going on
I
vacay.
literally saved up all year so I could go on
Yeah.
like this. We said we were gonna take one last like dream trip before we ever thought about having a family.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay, we're going to Europe this summer. Like, this is what we're going to do. We're doing it. And so we're like, you got to stay healthy until
Yeah.
August.
Right.
Like, after that, if your body wants to do something,
Right.
you can do it then. But, like, until then.
Yeah. Why did that make me think of if when you become a mom, can I call you Willy Mama? I don't know why as a mom,
that.
like as soon as me thinking about you at being a mom, I was like, Willy
Yeah.
That's
Mama.
funny because, like, we call my mom, like, my mom is Mama Ferg. Because my last name was
Ferg.
Ferguson. So,
I could
like,
see you being Willy
Mama
Mama.
Ferg is.
Speaking of Mama Ferg,
I swear, if you transition
it
like
is
that,
the perfect time
Wait, are you saying my mom is good or
for
garbage?
good or garbage.
Yay!
Not about Mama Ferg.
No, I'm kidding.
Bring it in. Bring it in. Yeah, right here. Lock it in. Okay. I want you to think about this. It's summertime. Summertime party time, man. You're having fun. You're a teacher. You're outside of contracted work hours. But then you remember, oh, crap. We have summer professional development and training. I know so many districts that do this. I've been in a district that has done it.
Yeah.
It is one of the most frustrating and infuriating things ever. I'm like, wait a second. I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm required to come in and do this.
Oh, you guys don't get paid for that? We do.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you guys. I don't think we do.
Good for you guys. I'm salty.
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad about it. So what do I think about it? I think it's garbage. I think it's garbage.
I feel like we need to just change your segment name to garbage or garbage,
Garbage.
because
Garbage or garbage,
it ain't
it's
never
what?
good.
There's
I
some
ain't
good
heard
things.
nothing good yet.
Here's
Call
a
it
good thing.
Garbage with Gabe.
Here's a good thing. Good or garbage? Summer. Good.
Good.
I don't know. I get, like,
Is
here's the
it?
thing, because like it's fun, but it's not fall fashion. I'm a fall girly.
Yes, I am too.
I'm
Give me
like
the cardigans.
a basic.
Yeah, I can't
It
wear
is.
I can't wear a
It's
top
hot.
coat when it's summertime.
Fall and spring
Top
are my
coat.
seasons.
I love fall.
The summer is hot.
I think
Summer is
that
hot.
professional developments in the summer, first off, because you're going in the, you know that they are not AC in that school before you go in. And I know this because
It's
we have to
hot.
go to Jefferson Elementary School every year in the summer in July to go over the new federal laws that were passed for Head Start for 2 weeks.
That
For
many laws?
2
You have to go for 2 weeks.
Do you get paid?
Sure. It's when the school started.
Oh.
But how they did it too is that they would delay the pay so that it was on the right schedule. So you'd work for like a month
See,
before you get
That
paid.
show like
My
to delay
school-
some pay.
For the past 2 years, my school, what we would do, and we decided this as a staff. It was like a decision that we made to help us prepare for the next school year. So we didn't come in the first day like with chickens with our heads cut off.
Yeah.
So we would like make our class schedule. All the class lists were done on these professional development days. If we were getting new curriculums or whatever, we did that. But we did, like our last day was like May, 28th or whatever the last day after, Memorial Day was. And then those next 3 days, we would come in from like 9 to 2 and we would do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But they set money aside and they would pay us to do this. So it was additional money we were getting paid, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff done and it did help us feel more prepared. Now this year we were like, there's not as much that we need to do because we all have been like doing this for the last 3 years. So we voted as a staff and we decided instead of coming the 3 days after school lets out, we decided to do like 2 hours, like we just did one last Tuesday, 2 hours after school, and then 2 hours we're doing like the first, this would have been the first week of May, and anything we have to like square away, we'll do that, and then that's that. And it's optional. You don't have, you're not forced to go,
Right.
Yeah.
but if you go, you get paid. And I like that. I like that they didn't make it mandatory.
Right.
But like I also get that sometimes when they don't make it mandatory, it's also kind of mandatory.
Right.
Yeah.
Like unspokenly
Right.
mandatory.
It's like frowned upon if you
yeah.
don't.
So I get that too. But like I like that we did that because it gave us a voice and it also like helped us to be prepared. So now I don't have to stay for the 3 days after
When your
school
summer's
lets
there.
out
Yeah.
because we decided to do it
Right.
during the school year, which
Yeah.
I thought was nice.
So what said that's good? We need a positive thing in good or garbage.
But where are your professional developments? When are they during your summer?
Dude, I've had them like one of the most frustrating times is they'll have it like so school end, you have a week off, and then you have a
they'll have
PD
it
after
with
When
that.
does your school end?
Dumb.
We end before
May or June?
before June. So because what's
Labor Day.
Is it Labor Day?
No, it's Memorial,
Memorial Day, Labor
Memorial
Day,
Day?
is
Yeah.
I
September.
always get them
Backwards.
flipped
Yeah.
around.
May Memorial.
May Memorial.
You
yeah,
are
we get
such
done
a
before
preschool
that.
teacher. That's a
but
good-
this
this
year
helps
we're actually
me.
getting done after because we had so many snow days.
And
so that
is there snow in South Dakota?
is there snow in South Dakota?
Are you joking?
Oh,
you're
yeah,
joking.
don't you know?
Oh, you was joking.
Actually, it just melted last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what some of the PDs were. So I had it where it was like 3 years in a row where I had to do the PD because it was from the state as like a new teacher. So they would have you do mandatory training for hours. And I was like, wait a second, didn't I go to college for 4 years to
Right,
do this?
to
And didn't I
Yes.
just actually teach for a
Yes.
couple, like why do I still need
Right.
more of this training and not get paid for it? Like I dumped $60,000 in my education.
Right.
Like didn't that
And if it's updated
cover it?
stuff, that's different. But y'all be talking about the same
Same,
stuff.
Oh my god!
By
Okay.
someone who's never taught before.
At the PD that we had a couple years ago, on the first day, they adopted a new like phonics curriculum and like this new phonemic awareness curriculum.
Oh, what?
Oh, who? Phonemic aware?
Learning
Phonemic
how
awareness.
to learning how letters and sounds work.
Say it again.
Phonemic.
Phonemic.
Phonemic. Awareness.
Phonemic
Phonemic.
awareness.
I'm just trying to say it
Phoenix,
for you.
Arizona.
Phonemic
Okay, anyway,
awareness.
moving
You're
on.
joking, right?
Moving on. But they were teaching us how to use this program. And because I'm in a K-6 building, the programs, 90% of the time, the programs I get are really just for the K3 teachers.
Yeah.
I sat through this whole training for a whole day and a half. We don't even teach it in 5th grade. We don't even they don't even make the curriculum for 5th graders. So that kind of irritated me that I
That's
sat through a day and a half of
irritating.
PD when I didn't
A day and a half?
Yep.
a day and a half.
No.
of
The same
PD,
thing
and I
happened to me.
didn't even. I
That
don't
sucks.
even teach the curriculum. And I even asked. I said, "Okay, they don't make it for 5th grade. I have differentiation I have to do.
Yeah.
Can I get a kit? And then that way, if I need to help
Yeah.
a student, I can do that." Didn't even get the kit. So I'm like,
That's
okay.
horrible.
So
That's
I
terrible.
I felt like I wasted my time. I did get paid, but it was just annoying that I wasted.
No, we
my
had
time.
to do. I
You
did
know?
8 hours of a PD because they changed the curriculum. We never have had a district-wide curriculum for English ever in the old district
Yeah.
that I worked in. They changed the curriculum and sat through a freaking 8-hour training. Taking notes. We was going all in. You know how ELA teachers how we are.
Yeah.
Going all in, taking good notes. Okay, bet I cannot wait to implement this. And it was I liked the curriculum.
Yeah.
I was like, for the first time ever, y'all giving us a map. I
Right.
like it. The next day, they were like, "Hey, we're not using this curriculum because too many parents complained."
Are you serious?
That they didn't like it. They didn't like some of the text.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't like. I was
I would-
so, I was so mad. I was like, "Oh my gosh! I just sat through this for 8 hours,
And
and
they're
look,
supposed to spend
I
money
didn't
on
get
it.
paid because
Yeah.
technically I'm already paid because my check is spread out. So it's not like I got extra pay or anything. I was mad at.
If you didn't go to school for education and
Why are
have
you
a
getting to
stake in
decide
it,
on the curriculum?
you don't know curriculum well enough to
Ugh.
be and it's always in the summer that they do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
baby, I don't need to learn a new curriculum.
I was mad.
But you know what I do need more of? I need more summer. I love
I do
summertime.
need more
I love
summer.
summertime party time.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. We are so grateful to all of you guys. You mean so much to us. Please make sure that you leave us some comments, subscribe, and hit up our merch. If you haven't already
Yes.
done that, make sure you check that out. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Everybody. Hey, does your boss know that you're watching YouTube on the job right now? They'll probably never find out, but you know what you should do? Subscribe below so you can see all the new videos that we post. If you want to see some of our older ones, check them out here. And while you're doing all that, check us out on Apple Podcasts, check us out on Spotify. Give us 5 stars if you feel like it. It would be pretty cool.